Hi guys, and welcome back to my YouTube channel and welcome back to another Sims 4 speedrunning video. So in today's video I'm going to be building this little photographer's loft. Now yesterday the new stuff pack got released. It's the first stuff pack in well over a year I believe, and it is the Sims 4 Moschino Stuff pack. I really hope that I'm pronouncing that right. I'm not going to lie, I did actually have to look up a pronunciation video before I started this voiceover. I am really scared of butchering the name and I probably have done it anyway, but nevertheless the new stuff pack was released yesterday and I really wanted to do a build using all the new items that I could possible and just kind of compile it into a little photographer's studio. So as you will see, I'm actually building on one of my favourite lots. Is the lot that I always tend to build in Newcrest. It's a 20 by 15 and I kind of wanted to do a old building converted into a photographer's studio. And so the downstairs is actually a studio, so your Sims can be a fashion photographer and they can have people come round and take the pictures. And the upstairs is a kind of apartment loft, and so upstairs there is a kitchen, there is a bedding area or a bed area, there is a bathroom and everything your Sims needs to kind of live. I don't actually have a lounge room upstairs though, just because there wasn't really enough space, and there is actually quite a large kind of sofa area in the downstairs and I felt like it wasn't really needed. So there isn't actually a TV in this loft, and that is just because I kind of figured that if your Sims are photographers, they're gonna want to spend as much time as they can just taking pictures of other Sims and not really watching TV. So there isn't actually a TV, but there is all the photography stuff that your Sim will need, and there is also a computer on the upstairs as well. So like I mentioned, the new pack did actually come out yesterday, but I haven't actually had a chance to sit down and play it yet, and I'm really excited to do so. I'm just so in love with photography in the game. I just love taking loads of different photos of my Sims. My current household probably has well over 60 just framed photos, and they're before the kind of update. So in the week we did actually get an update for the Sims. We got kind of like a patch update, and we also got the ability to have photo frames kind of standing on tables and chests of drawers, and I am so happy that we've got that because I have so many different photo frames on my Sims walls and they just look so cluttered, but I just love just capturing their moments, and I just love the photography skill in general in the Sims. So I'm so happy with that new update, and I feel like I've kind of been out of the loop a little bit because recently I've actually been on holiday. So my video on Sunday I did actually pre-record. I didn't mention it, I just kind of forgot to mention it, but my video on Sunday was pre-recorded. My video on Wednesday was actually kind of on Wednesday. I actually went home on Wednesday night and then I flew out to Spain on Thursday morning, and so I kind of was away from all social media. I was kind of away from everything, and then whilst I was away I kind of found out that there was a patch update, but I haven't actually sat down and played the game in a few days, so I don't really know what is actually properly in the patch update. I just know about the new photo frames and I don't really know what else. I think there's been a few bug fixes. One thing that I know that wasn't in the bug or the patch update was the new island counters that still are not in the game, and I really hope that they do come soon. I'm really hoping in September's patch that the bar versions of the island living counters do come, because I really want to use them in my households, and I like to have just kind of like counters with bars sometimes, and I really just want to use them, but I feel like I can't just because we haven't got them yet. So I really hope in the next patch update that does actually come. But like I said, I was actually away, so I felt like I missed so much, and I was just so excited because I flew home on Sunday evening, and then obviously I've just had a few days just to kind of catch up, and now I just really want to get into the game and start playing with the new photography skill. I'm thinking I might actually create a new current household because I'm one of them people that kind of sticks to one Sim for a really long time, and I just actually want to dive right into the photography career. And so I think I'm actually going to create my own kind of little Sim and actually have them live in this little loft, because I'm so in love with the way that this loft turned out. I think it's so perfect, especially for the photography skill, because it's literally got everything your Sim needs, and it's kind of like an industrial / modern style. I just really like it, so hopefully you guys like it as well. But as you can kind of see, I have kind of finished the exterior building of the lot, and I've actually just finished the landscaping as well. Now with the landscaping, I was quite confused when I was initially building the house on what I was actually going to do, and I didn't really know how to landscape it. but as soon as I kind of went in and started landscaping, it all kind of came together really naturally, and I didn't really have to think about it that much. I just used a lot of greenery, so a lot of tall trees and just green plants, and then I did actually use a few coloured flowers. I used some orange ones and then some white ones, but I didn't want to mix too many colours together, so it's literally just white flowers and a bit of orange. But I really like that. There isn't too much landscaping in this house. There is just that little area at the front, in front of them new beautiful windows that we got this pack. I'm so in love with the new windows. I especially love the small little square one. I placed it in the bathroom of this house. I just absolutely love that, and I know that I'm going to use that window so much in my game. But moving on, as you can see, I'm just furnishing this little outdoor patio area as soon as you walk out some of the back doors, and I just wanted a little area for your photographer to come maybe halfway for a shoot. Maybe they needed some air, or maybe all the models that they're taking pictures of just wanted to come outside and have a little chit chat, maybe eat their lunch or do whatever they wanted. I just wanted there to be a little communal area outside as well, so I created this little kind of a patio on the exterior back of the house, or loft, or whatever this is classed as. And I actually did something which I really love in this little loft, and I actually used the Get Famous dividers, and I put them on the wall, and then at the back of them I actually put this greenery kind of ivory thing, and it kind of makes it look like there's a whole wall full of greenery, and I absolutely love it. I mixed it with the Get Together sofas, and I just really love that little area. But now I'm actually moving on, and I've started furnishing the inside of the house. So when I was doing this, I didn't actually want to put too many walls down, and so there doesn't actually end up being any actual rooms apart from the bathroom. And because it took me a really long time to figure out that there was only going to be one room, I did decide just to cut the floor plan footage out. It's literally just a little, I think it's like a 4x6 or 4x5 little room, which is on the upstairs, which I've actually started furnishing now. So in the kitchen, as you can see, I did actually go for the Cool Kitchen Stuff counters. I've been really loving these recently, and I've been using them in quite a lot of my builds. I just went for the black version because I wanted there to be quite a contrast between the white walls, and I just felt like the black and white version just worked really nicely. I also wanted to use this kind of tall cabinet looking object, which is one of the cabinets. It's just kind of in the tall version, and I wanted to use that to kind of block off the wallpaper because I wanted to use this base game white tile, but I didn't want it to have a separate wall kind of cutting it off because I wanted the upstairs to be very open. And so what I did is I used the Cool Kitchen tool cabinet, and it kind of separates the kind of two different wallpapers, and then I also do just add a little column on one side of it as well, just to kind of really section that area off. I did also add a little bar into this household as well, so there is kind of like this little bar counter area, and that is kind of like the dining area. There isn't actually a dining table in this loft or house. I'm not really sure what to class this as, but there is no little kind of sit down dining area in this lot. It is just that little counter bar area. But now I've actually moved on and I've started furnishing the bathroom. So this is the only real room in the house, but I absolutely love this room, and I think it's just because of that beautiful window that we've got. I really love the windows, and I've already spoken about it, but I really do love them, and they come in so many amazing swatches, although they don't actually come in a brown swatch, which I realised I was kind of hoping for a black, white, brown, and then other colours, but we don't actually have a brown version, unless I just kind of completely missed it. But I think the white version with the kind of black little grids is just so beautiful, and so that is actually the colour swatch of the kind of windows that I've used all throughout the house and in the doors as well. But in this bathroom, we do actually just have a shower, bath, and then toilet and sink, and all the normal bathroom items. I find it really hard sometimes to actually make a voiceover when I'm doing the bathroom interesting, because it's literally just all the items your Sims needs. It's just kind of everything that your Sims needs. Is quite boring to look at, but I always like to include them in my builds anyway, or in my speed builds. But in here, like always, I did just add some shelves just to kind of spice up this room a little bit, and I was actually going to add some blinds over the big window, but I just felt like when I added the blinds, it kind of just completely destroyed the look of the window in a way, and I actually feel like that window is a piece of art. It is so beautiful, and so I decided not to add any blinds or curtains into any of the windows in this build, just because I really wanted to show how much light can come into this little loft. But now I've actually moved on and I've started furnishing the little walkway hallway area as soon as your Sim will walk in through the front door. So this is on the upstairs, like I mentioned. So the upstairs is kind of the apartment area, and the downstairs is the studio. To get to the upstairs, there's actually some city living stairs which go up loft, kind of like on the side of this lot, and it goes up and then it goes into this little walkway area, and I just kind of wanted something so it wasn't really plain and boring, so I just added a little kind of side table, added one of my favourite paintings from Get Famous, and then just added kind of like a plant, and then also a little cat or dog sleeping bed. I did actually add some pet bowls into this lot as well, so if your sim wants to have a cat or a dog, then they can do so. I was just kind of thinking it will probably be more a cat than a dog, but obviously you can have whatever you want. But moving on, I've started furnishing the little bedroom area in this loft. So the bedroom is very open. Like I said, I didn't actually add any more walls. I just kind of wanted the very open space effect in this loft, and so I was actually debating using some divided, but when it actually came to it, I decided to kind of scrap that idea and just let it be a very open space. So the bedroom is kind of in front of these new circular windows, and it doesn't really have much to it. It's just kind of like a little bedroom area. I do use the vintage Glamour Stuff bed, and then also just some base game tables either side, and then I actually merged the bed in with this city living sofa. That's something that I tend to do quite a lot. I normally use it with the Seasons bed, but I felt like it really went with the vintage Glamour bed, and I don't believe I've actually used that bed and the city living sofa together. I always use the Seasons bed, but in this little bedroom area I do actually add the new bookcase that we got with the pack, and I am so in love with this new bookcase. I just think it's so perfect, and I really hope that we get some kind of a cube versions in a bedside table. So as you can see, the bookcase is kind of like these cubes. I would really like a kind of bedside table version of that, or even a chest of drawers version. I just think they would be so cool. But I absolutely love that new bookcase, and I love especially the little plant that kind of droops down and kind of goes out of the bookcase. I've actually got a very similar plant on my bookcase, and I just absolutely love it. I also added these little coffee table / magazines clutter item, which I know I'm going to get so much use out of this new kind of little clutter item. That is probably hands down my favorite new item that we got with this stuff pack. I just think they're so perfect. They come in I think around 6 or 7 different swatches. I actually do end up using them I think twice or maybe 3 times in this loft build, just because I was so obsessed with them. I'm so happy with coffee table books. I'm going to be using them in a lot of my builds from now on. But now I'm actually just wrapping up this little bedroom area, and this is where I add the little desk. I use the freelancer's desk. I kind of felt like it was very fitting. It kind of has some photo album looking things in like one of the sides of it, and I just kind of felt like this would be the perfect desk for this little photographer. I also do actually add them little article paintings just above the bed, or above the desk area, sorry, and I was kind of thinking that maybe they were shoots that they have done and they're really proud of their work. I actually did a very similar thing in my video on last Wednesday when I actually did the freelancer's apartment, because I did a freelancer's apartment because I was so inspired by the new trailer for this new stuff pack. But moving on, I've actually started furnishing the downstairs. So this is actually the photography studio area, and one of the first things I wanted to place down was these new sofas that we got with the new pack, and I am absolutely in love with them. I love every single swatch they come in, and I especially love that with these new sofas you can actually merge them to create a corner sofa. And that is something that I really like doing, but I feel very limited when I do that, because I feel like there's only a fair amount, like a couple of different sofas that you can actually give the illusion of a corner sofa with. And with these new ones, they just work so perfectly, and I love every single one of the swatches. I went for this kind of dog tooth pattern on this one, which is probably my favourite swatch, but it does also come in some really nice plain swatches as well. I'm just really happy that we have just like loads of different options for this sofa. So there is some more out there patterns and swatches, but there is also some really nice plain ones. But in this little kind of sofa area, I did actually add the new coffee table as well, which I really like. That comes in kind of like a 2-tile version as well as a single tile, which I can really appreciate, because sometimes you only want a 1-tile coffee table, and now we've actually got a really nice and modern one from this new pack. And I also did use the new bookcase downstairs as well. I know that I used it upstairs, but I really wanted to get as much use as I possibly can out of this new object, just because I absolutely love it. I also did actually add that Get Famous kind of arrow sign, which I thought was so perfect for a little photography studio. I just absolutely love it when we got with Get Famous, but I've never really used it that much because I haven't really felt the need that it would kind of fit in to a lot of the lots that I've done in the past. But I felt like it just fitted in so perfectly with this little lot, so I decided to add it just above the sofa, and it actually points to where the little kind of photography area is, so where your Sims will be taking the photos. I just really absolutely love that. I feel like City Living, Get Famous and this new stuff pack would work really nicely together, and I'm actually thinking I might do a limited pack build with only using them 3 packs, because I feel like all the styles are very similar and they will just work very nicely together. So let me know if that's something that you would like me to do. But as you would have seen, I did just do a little walkway area as soon as you walk into the downstairs area of this kind of like photography studio. In there I just have like a few plants, some shoes, and just kind of general clutter to make it look a little bit more realistic. But now I'm actually moving on and I've started furnishing the actual kind of studio area. So this is where your Sims are going to be spending the majority of their time just taking pictures of models and just other Sims in general, and I just absolutely love this little area. I also do add a little makeup station, which I was really happy that I thought about it when I was actually doing this build, because I was thinking that maybe your Sim has invited maybe just a stranger off the street to go and take a picture, but they wasn't really liking the way that they was looking. They wanted to maybe change their hair or their makeup or just their outfit, and so I do add that little Get Famous kind of makeup station in this lot as well. And it's kind of just behind the little curve of this photo studio as well, which I think is so perfect. It kind of just fits in and just looks really in place to me personally. And then I also do just use the new kind of clothing rail object, which is actually a wardrobe. I also kind of just use that as kind of like a little divider between the photo studio and the kind of makeup area. I did also add a bunch of lights around the little photo shoot area. Originally I actually used the Moschino ones, but then I actually decided to switch them out to be the Get Famous ones. I just preferred the look of them, and they looked more like items that you'd find in a photography studio than the other ones to me personally, and so I did just decide to switch them out. And now I am actually going to finish off this build and add this little kind of cabinet area with a collection of all the different cameras that we actually have in the game. But anyway guys, I am actually going to end this voiceover here. So as always, I hope you guys enjoyed watching me build this little photographer's loft and studio, and as always, if you do like my content, then please subscribe, and hopefully I will see you in my next Sims 4 speedbuilding video. Bye guys.